So I start grabbing like a big bag of M&Ms and I start throwing candies and marshmallows and M&Ms and fucking.
They must have loved you.
All of it. So they're going, they're all fucking cheering. Yeah. And then the lady comes in, she taps me and she gives me a piece of paper. It's fucking $350 of fucking, fucking candy I threw up there. Hello, everyone. Hola, mis amigos. You're listening to Oh My God, Hi, Hijo de Dios, Hola. With me, George Lopez, porque ¿sabes qué? Let's do the show, porque I got a lot of things to do. I gotta go to that dry cleaner ahí. My kid fell, se pegó la cabeza, I gotta go get some Neosporin Paul.
You know what George is?
Oh, I'm sure he's around here somewhere.
What's his name? George?
Lopez.
George Lopez.
Oh my God!
OMG.
OMG! Hi!
Oh my God, hi! If you're feeling overwhelmed lately, you're not alone. So start feeling better with a single message. TalkSpace Online Therapy matches you with a licensed therapist from the comfort of your device. Get $100 off right now, your first month, with the code OMGHI at TalkSpace.com. Good luck. The Olympics, Euros, baseball, major champions, and concerts all in the same summer. And you know what isn't in fashion? Wild and hairy bush. Okay. Hey, tame your pubes with the help of friends at Manscape, the leaders in below-the-waist grooming. I got mine. Arsenio Hall got his. Probably didn't like that I said his name, but he got his. The 4th-generation performance package includes the brand-new Lawnmower 4.0. If an athlete treats their body like royalty, why not treat your pubes like you're standing on the podium with a gold medal around your neck? Fellas, do right by your balls and join 2 million men. Wasn't going to be in a gang, but I'd be in this one. Worldwide who trust Manscaped. Get 20% off free shipping with the code OMGHI. Manscape.com. This is a cultural thing, too. So I'm telling you, make it right down there. All right? I'm going to tell you, hey, make it right with the man downstairs. Oh My God Hi is brought to you by Green Chef. So Green Chef is the most sustainable meal kit. It's fun. It's easy, and you can try healthy new recipes at home with Green Chef. Try Green Chef today, the #1 meal kit for eating well. And, you know, you don't have to get home and just put meals together. Green Chef puts them together for you. So go to greenchef.com/OMGHI100 and use the code OMGHI100 to get $100 off, including free shipping. All right? Get Green Chef, and then let me see what you look like, because I'm supposed to be looking good. And which one of you guys brought the fucking sword?
Oh, well, Aaron did.
Who brought the sword? Aaron brought the sword.
That was me.
And you know, sometimes when you get like a souvenir sword, it weighs like it's nothing. That fucking thing was 150 pounds.
This is like a movie.
It's like the real
quality
sword.
Real shit.
Replica Lord of the Rings
Yeah.
sword.
That thing is no fucking joke.
That's epic. Yeah.
14 pounds.
Were they stronger back then?
That's a whole baby.
I shall destroy you.
They're small.
Fight or die.
Yeah.
They're small. You know,
They were little.
They say an ant can lift like 10 times their weight.
yeah.
So small.
That's what they did.
The hobbits are just
right.
They can lift anything. Yeah.
Right? You got to make
That was
them
the secret.
extra strong.
It was funny too because they signed the sword and they signed it like, you know, Billy Boyd, Dominic Monaghan, and then they signed their character names next to it too, just because you know so many people are like either, well, who is that, or which one were you,
Right.
whatever, and they just they figured it out.
Pretty recognizable
dropping
signature.
your nickname.
So explain to me that, you know, now that they're not here in front of me, are those two guys recognizable all over the world?
I don't think I'd recognize.
Billy Boyd,
Definitely not on name recognition.
Pippin and what?
Merry and Pippin from Lord of the Rings.
for sure.
Well, and they had one story too where, and maybe they probably know them as like the hobbits, but don't know who they are. But I forget where they said they were, but they were in like Bora Bora or some shit. And local came up to them and they're like, Mary, Pip, what are you guys doing?
They don't have prosthetics like the dude that was Star Trek, the Michael Dorn. That guy had that full on like
Is that
like the
Worf?
ripples in his Dorf, which years ago was that his name Dorf? Dwarf.
Worf was the character. Mike.
Cheers, guys.
There we go.
Cheers.
We just bullshit till we get to it.
It's bad luck, but I got. I'm on the clock.
You
baby.
working or something?
Yes.
What are you, a cop?
Legally, I don't have to tell you.
Is it hoppy?
That's delicious, man.
I really like it.
So they're known all around the world, right? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But they don't have anything on their face or anything.
No.
Right? They're just made
They're
to.
just tiny.
Yeah.
Like they shrink
Are they
down.
actually tiny in person?
No, they're normal sized.
No, they're not. They're a little bit small.
Fair. They're not hobbit sized. They're a little on the short for adults, but it is funny because in my head I'm like, you're supposed to be like up to here.
You know what was crazy
Regular-sized people.
about Halloween is that when I'm twice your guys' age, but in our day, every candy was like a full-size candy. Like you couldn't buy fun-size candy.
Right.
Yeah.
Like if you
At
bought
Hershey's
candy,
bar is
fucking like
foot
that,
long, yeah.
big. Anything you'd get just normal size.
Right.
And then somewhere along the line, somebody at Mars probably said, "Hey, we should fucking just probably sell like smaller ones that will sell more of them than selling a big one."
Right.
And there you go, the fun size. But you wouldn't even have
Fun.
that fun size. They don't fun fucking size.
That's the marketing right there
That is-
too.
yeah.
It's not small. It's fun.
It's fun size,
Yeah,
but
fun
there ain't no
size.
fun that size.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then it changed everything because if you went trick or treating and you didn't even get to a lot of houses, your bag was heavy because everything was a normal sized thing. That's why they try to give pennies sometimes.
Yeah. And nowadays you just try and map out which house in the neighborhood does give the actual size candy bars, and you get all them.
But I think that it could be. I mean, it's a blessing to be a working actor. But I think that if you're in a show like or part of a franchise like that, that it does get to be.
Oh, you can't have your identity anymore.
Man, you can't go.
Yeah.
And because
That's who you are.
And because that's such a big, it's big all over the world. Like anybody would see you, they would go up to you because they feel like they can go up to you now.
Right.
And back in the day, maybe 15 years ago,
Yeah.
you wouldn't go up to somebody if they were eating, and if you did, they would say, I'm eating.
Listen up.
And now they're starting to tape or video you even before they get near you. So if you say I'm eating, they'll say, that fucking asshole. You go, yeah, he's eating.
He's trying to eat.
Nobody's. I was with. Let me drop a name. I was with Clint Eastwood having dinner with his wife and my wife. And Don Johnson walked up and he goes, "Hey, Clint, how you doing, Bubba?" And he goes, "Hey, man, because Clint, and Don's like, hey, I gotta." Probably shouldn't have used his real name. He said, he goes, "Hey, Bubba, I gotta get your number, man." Clint's sitting there and he goes, "I'm more of a transmitter than a receiver." and he didn't give him his number. Fucking blew him out. That's how he blew him out.
Oh, dude.
That's
And
a
his
line.
wife is
To,
like, yeah, he is more of a transmitter. Because he says, "I don't accept calls. I just make them."
that's a line to steal for sure.
Totally.
That's so good.
And the way he did it, he was like, oh, okay, all right.
Well, have you noticed anything like that? Do you feel extra pressure in like the social media area? At any point in time, someone's going to come up to you. Maybe they'll be recording.
Oh, wait a minute. You mean when I fell asleep in that fucking casino drunk after like 21 shots of tequila and somebody took a picture and ended up on TMZ?
I heard it was 22.
That was a lot. And you know why I drank so much? Because let me cover this. I had to realize how much I had to pay in alimony for the rest of my life. I'll fucking run that street right now. And it got, I'd never heard it put in those terms. And then when it did, the next day I was flying and I was gone.
Well, you
I wasn't
the
arrested.
lump sum that you were going to pay for
There's a lot of numbers. However you crunch the numbers,
it doesn't look good.
It could have been a fucking $1 a minute for the rest of my life. But it's funny how people get this shit wrong. Like I didn't get arrested.
Right. You're just snoozing.
I just fell. Yeah.
Yeah.
Listen,
What casino was it?
Caesars in Windsor, Canada.
Oh,
you go.
Windsor, Canada.
One of the great sleeping casinos.
And that thing spread like wildfire overnight.
Yeah. Well, it's a short news cycle too.
I still find those pants at my house. I fucking say, not you motherfuckers again. Back in the garage.
Yeah.
Let's go. Who do we have?
So we have the Barrett brothers. We have Max and Jack, the creators of the Friday Beers brand.
Friday Beers.
Big beers, guys.
Yeah, they just launched podcasts on our network. I'll let them talk to you a little more about it. But these are the masterminds behind all your favorite live action memes.
But is there anything like when they would you get to the internet, like the Beer of the Month Club, like they would send you. You remember that? What was the concept of that? Like if you pick, they would send you a different beer every month, like maybe 4 of them from around the world. Do you guys remember that?
I don't remember it.
I know. I've heard of it.
There was
I've
a
heard of
club
the,
that you could be,
clubs,
and they would send you beer from all over the world.
Sounds like we should bring it back under Friday Beer.
I think it'd be pretty good.
Still, yeah.
Because you get beer that you couldn't ever get. Did you guys ever drink any Tennent's from Glasgow, Scotland?
I've never had it.
I'm sure we've ran into.
That's pretty big.
Tannins?
Tennent's.
Tannins are the thing in wine.
Lead-based.
Yeah, I was gonna say, right.
That thing would fuck you. Lead-based. Has to be.
Yeah, lead
Is that
hits
one of
different.
the was one of their dad?
Yeah.
They work at
Oh, yeah,
tennis?
that's
Was that
right.
what it was?
Billy Boyd.
I think so. Yeah. They have like a personal connection. They're like
Oh, really?
part of the tennis.
So,
dynasty.
take me back through your history of beers. Your father was your grandfather, father.
Yeah, both historic alcoholics.
Hey, man, you know what? And what is an alcoholic? Is it a guy that falls asleep at a casino, or is it a guy that has 2 shots and punches his wife? I don't know.
We've
there a scale?
I've struggled with that definition too.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, the Barrett family history of beer
I'd say we're mass consumers.
runs pretty deep.
Who in your family? Dad? Did dad?
Yeah,
Your mom?
my
drink?
dad has a saying when he was like warning us to drink responsibly. He was just, listen, Jack, like, I know it's in me because if I have 1, I want to have 2.
Right.
If I have 2, I want to have 10.
Right.
yeah.
That's right.
So that's sort of the mentality we know that we kind of have in our DNA. But it's actually Friday beers is less about just like drinking a shit ton of beer.
It's more about guys that like to drink beer.
It's about
the
hanging out
culture
hanging out with
around,
people when you're drinking.
Okay, good.
And like we started this basically Instagram account a year and a half ago that was dedicated to the characters who you're hanging out with when when we call it commence and suck down when you start drinking.
It's
It's great. They have their whole sort of like, and you'll
Commence,
find out.
suck
There's whole
down.
like
I gotta-
lingo for the whole
Yeah, I
thing.
gotta have you guys have you follow you. That's awesome.
Commence, suck
Commence,
Oh,
suck
commence
down.
suck down.
Yeah.
Come on. I love that.
There's some like summer of suck down stuff going on right now.
Right,
Is that right?
we've called 2021 the summer of suck down because we lost the summer of 2020.
Totally lost it.
So it's like Woodstock, but for sucking down.
Okay.
You workshop would suck for a while, but you're like,
Yeah.
no, that's
Yeah.
not gonna.
The PR guys threw out Woodstock.
Is there what are some of the beers? We'll go over what we started to drink early on in our lives.
yeah.
What did you guys start around? What? Remember Moosehead, or you guys probably?
I know Moosehead. Yeah. I mean, honestly, we started drinking Bud Lights. Bud Light,
Yeah.
Keystone Light.
light beers, whatever's
Yeah.
cheapest and easiest.
Keystone
to
was
get.
Light
readily
was,
available.
was cheap.
I subsisted on Keystone Light in college because you could get a 30 rack for $14
You could,
at the
right?
local.
Yeah, we were doing
the local,
these things called natty caddies
store,
where
yeah.
you get.
So so here's the question. The difference between like Keystone and what's a hot Bud Light, Budweiser?
Bud Light,
Yeah, Bud Light,
Coors
Coors
Light.
Light.
What's the
Bud Light.
difference in the beers?
Very little.
Will you guys follow
Whatever's
yourselves?
whatever's
It is, right?
closest. Yeah.
I mean, if you
Yeah.
if you're a working class dude, like they drank like Paps.
yeah, it's regional.
They drank.
I
There
mean-
used to be a thing out here in L.A. off the 5 freeway called Brew 102,
Yeah.
and that had a fully metal can bottom, which probably I think might change the taste of beer
It could.
in a metal versus aluminum can.
Yeah.
Yeah, we actually play a game with when people come over to our office. We have this game. It's basically a blind taste test of light beers, and you see if people really know.
Coors,
Right.
Bud,
And,
Miller, PBR. Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
It's no one ever gets it right.
No one's ever gone
No.
perfect 4 for 4.
Really?
Yeah.
I think what it comes down to is like regionality. Like,
Totally.
And Bud Light with a crisp, smooth finish. Thank you, Bud Light.
You remember
Yeah.
Bud Dry?
Never had Bud Dry.
Why ask why?
Yeah.
Bud Dry.
What did Bud Dry do? What was that all about?
I think it was. It might almost be like, which is the one that Lance Armstrong was drinking? Michelob Ultra.
Yeah.
HGH.
It might be, yeah. Total H. At the bottom said to shake it.
Yeah. It goes to the metal.
Oh,
But-
Michelob Ultra. Michelob Ultra is like the I'm a fit guy, but I still like to party beer.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I just went for a 40-mile bike ride. I want to do that.
Jimmy-
Michelob
Time for
Ultra.
Mickey Old.
Yeah.
Hey, but the dudes that are really heavy and drink beer and enjoy it, they never get any light on the commercials, do they?
Those,
They don't have
but
like a-
they should.
they should.
They should absolutely. Those are our heroes, actually, and those inspire. There's
Those
so
are
many
real
people-
dudes.
Yeah, real dudes.
they're
They
real guys.
inspire the Friday Beers characters. Like we got characters called the Big Fella, and that is your friend who is heavier guy. Maybe he used to play college football or something
Right.
like that, and he can put down 28 beers in 2.5 hours type of thing. And that guy deserves. We like to celebrate characters like that.
Yeah.
Versus like, hey, jacked marketing executive in the Michelob Ultra commercial is having a couple beers at like the nicest bar you've
After
ever
his
seen.
triathlon.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, who's,
Right.
That's not relatable.
No, we don't. That's not relatable. That's not relatable.
No, it's not
to us.
relatable to what you
Yeah.
guys are into. But it's not relatable to what the beer culture is either.
I don't think so.
No.
No, I don't think so. I mean, Grant's got the nice haircut, nice tan, man, maybe he's maybe a Michelob Ultra.
I tell you, I did keto for a year, and
Yeah,
in that
see?
year,
If you have done
in
keto-
that 1 year, that was the one beer you could drink because there were like 2 carbs.
Yeah, the Venn diagram of people who have been on keto diets and people who
Yeah.
drink Michelob Ultra is just a circle.
It's just one.
So they created almost like, I don't want to say backwash, but they created a beer that they're like, okay, our other beers might be better, Bud.
But you want low cal.
But if you want
Yeah.
something that's almost old duels, right?
Right, yeah.
Is it?
It's pretty. It doesn't have a high ABV. No.
Alcohol by volume.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
but it's not.
It's still like a beer.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
okay.
It's just on the lights, and I think like low carb in particular
Yeah.
was like the selling point.
And if somebody were to
skinny
say,
can,
and if
too.
somebody were to say, but a real dude like the big dude is not going to drink.
No.
He's not going to go for Michelob Ultra. If he came
Big
to my
fellas,
house,
has
he's
his
Bud
preference.
heavy.
He's
Have
Bud
Bud
heavy.
heavy for
I
him.
love
Yeah,
Bud.
yeah.
I just love the concept of Bud heavy.
Oh, it's what kings drink. Yeah.
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 Those we went with in the beginning. We went with Schlitz malt liquor.
Nice. Yeah, Schlitz is like the class. I feel like that was the mass consumption beer, like the precursor to every one of them. Schlitz.
Great logo, metal can, no frills. Maybe it didn't even have anything other than just Schlitz on it.
Yeah.
And then they bumped up to Schlitz malt liquor.
Yeah.
With almost like the Detroit Lions uniforms.
Yeah.
The silver with the bull.
Yeah.
And they had that concept, look out for the bull, and that shit would fuck you up. Malt liquor.
That's like rob a bank after you
That's
have
not
3
bad.
of them type of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You wake up and there's an ATM in your garage. How the fuck? What the fuck? Are we doing? but malt liquor is a different. That's not beer. It's malt. It's malt liquor.
That can get dangerous. I remember in college and stuff when you'd have like a Colt 45 or like an Old
Colt
English.
45?
Yeah, it's a malt liquor in a tall
Old English
glass,
800.
man, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the beauty of beer drinking is that you can pace yourself in a way where you're either gonna get like versus hard liquor or
totally.
other types
No.
of alcohol
So we've
or
been doing
wine. Like,
these-
you can pace yourselves, and you're either gonna get too full or you're just gonna like get sleepy.
Yeah,
like,
get
you're
sleepy.
not
Yeah.
gonna have
Yeah.
those moments where you're like
Yeah.
you just totally jump up a level and you're like, oh no, something's happened.
Can you see it coming, right?
Oh,
so,
yeah.
so you can feel better longer,
Right.
I like that.
and then thank you, welcome. And then you can have it. And
Why
then,
don't you
and
make
then
that the tagline for
you
Little
can
Mexi?
feel better longer. Maybe I think we'll do that.
Yeah.
But also,
Yeah.
the guys that I grew up around, I still see them. There's a guy that was in the military doesn't drink anymore for a long time, and we would be drinking beer like we were cool drinking beer, and then somebody would say, "Hey, let's do a shot." And whenever they say "let's do a shot," everything after that is not about beer anymore. Like I would have
Right.
preferred to have just say, "You know what, man? Let's just drink beer and chill, watch TV,"
Yeah.
and then you get to that, and you're not just going to do one shot.
Nope.
And then now your whole beer drinking experience, where you were feeling good,
Right.
now has been destroyed by.
This took a left turn.
It totally took a left. But I'm with that. Like if you bring guys over and they're just satisfied with just sitting around and tapping the bottom of the can, like those do it like that, like hey, man, cheers.
yeah.
Better than getting into all 8 shots for guys, and then you probably have a night that with the guys, but it won't be a good night. The guys are going to get
And then
Yeah,
the next
yeah.
day, that's also
so you guys have created a podcast and a life and a variety and style of beers where I would say maybe wives aren't as threatened as
We hope so, and they're actually
That's somewhat-
included,
right.
by the way.
Yeah, yeah.
Because you said like relatability earlier. Like our whole thing when we started Friday Beers, the Instagram account, which eventually became this podcast, and other stuff we're doing, like
it's
making
badass.
merch.
Oh, this shit's great, man.
It's just about how can we paint a picture of these are the characters in your life. These are the guys you hang out with. These are the girls you hang out with. This is what you do. This is how you feel on Wednesday when you're trying to get through the week. This is how you feel on Friday. We're like, oh fuck yeah, I made it. You get to that peak when you're just about to commence suck down. This is how you feel on Saturday when you're in a bit of a sneaky bender. We call it being in the middle of the sneaky bender. Yeah. Or you're in the consumption vortex where you're just drinking everything that's coming at you.
Yeah.
And then Sunday, you're hungover, you miss your ex-girlfriend, you want to order some disgusting food to help you make you feel better. Everybody feels like that to some extent, and we want to capture those feelings. for
Okay,
people.
so that's
Yeah.
a very good point.
Yeah.
When I'm hungover, and I try not to be, but occasionally it gets me. I mean, I've had some fucking horrible hangovers. I can never eat, but I know I should eat.
Right.
And you probably should sleep and I don't.
You need to get some greasy food in
You,
you.
you do need to. So in the history of you guys, what are the top five
We were just talking about this.
best hangover food? Like and I think you almost have to make yourself eat, even though you don't want to.
Yeah.
You should, because the longer you're on an empty stomach and the longer,
worse it is.
the worse your fucking day is going to be.
So I used to live in New York, and
I'm the only one cussing too, by the way.
I've never had the. I used to live in fucking New York City, piece of shithole town, dickhole, butthole town.
All right, got up.
And I actually never had a problem with getting hungry after I drank. I actually had a ravenous appetite.
Yeah.
But what I would like to do on my worst hangover days is make a couch bed. So I had like a couch that would kind of fold out into a bed, and I would, just have the TV going on, straight couch bed. Sometimes my friends would come over too and hang out on the couch bed with me, and then I'd order from like 8 different takeout places. I get burger from this place, JG Mellon. I would get pizza from this place, Joe's Pizza. I get Chinese from this place, Red Farm. And I would just, would stand around the table and just have a little bit of, nice morsels of different cuisines to get you through. And it would last. It would be like a 4-hour long buffet. You could just keep going back.
And at the end of the 4 hours, you feel better.
I would feel disgusting in a different way.
Yeah.
But I would.
It's really putting a Band-Aid on like
bullet wound.
And what creates the hangover? No, is it dehydration?
Yeah, I think it's dehydration.
Yeah.
Like also like a lot of like sugar you're drinking, especially if you drink liquor and it's mixed drinks and shit like that.
I mean, my Sundays I just rotate between eating pizza and jerking off. The only
that's how you beat up. You like, come on.
Yeah.
You know what?
keep
I
it to
actually
Sunday?
jacked off to one of the napkins that I used when I eat. On the side of the bed. And,
kill two birds with one stone.
They're the first,
That was a rough day.
And I'm not married, but when the housekeeper comes over, she has her laundry list. I have mine.
I'll take care of these.
Because you're in the car.
Private
you're like,
hamper, do not open.
My fucking jackrag is by the side of the car. So
What is?
shit disappears. I thought I'm missing some T-shirts, and then you'll find them in, like, I remember Big Boy from radio. I gave him a jacket that I had, and he put his hand in his pockets and pulled out some underwear with shit all over him. And he goes, "Yo, G, this you?" I said, "Yeah, those are mine." I would fucking hide them from my wife, and then you forget they'd be in fucking shoe trees. I ended up using my fucking calzones of fucking shitty as shoe trees, man. You're like, "Oh, those shoes are really keeping there." Pull out my shoe trees and see. I mean, nasty, man, because in those times you gotta. And then you take a couple of like Tylenols with a beer and a little fucking egg McMuffin, and
I mean, you're just trying to get to the day,
Richard
man.
Branson. You're going into the outer layer of fucking space. You feel better.
That's a good home remedy. I like that.
So as I've gotten older, and I think you guys can finally, guys, I can fucking ask questions. They understand it. Is that this is higher in volume of alcohol? So already
very
maybe
tasty.
half of them already like a little.
Pint, right? They're pint-sized glasses. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What makes a dude like so let's say like the big a heavy set dude that you drink with that's sitting around just plowing beers.
Yeah.
Is size relatable to tolerance, or is it like, would that guy be a lightweight? No.
No, I find that size is often relatable to tolerance.
Pretty close correlation. There's like other stuff at play there, but for the most, but like just like you brought forget if it's harder or easier for your body to absorb because there's just like more fat and like it gets absorbed in like the fat cells.
Is that true?
Like I'm too skinny right now, and I find that my tolerance is like so low.
Oh, so it's relatable to you.
Yeah, I think it's like honestly fat that you have. Yeah, and just like if you don't eat and just less like shit inside your body to like absorb it,
soak it up.
That's gonna be directly affected. And by the way, you're talking about how tequila takes a left turn of the night. We've been doing these events lately.
I want to go to one of your events.
Oh, you gotta come. Well, we'll do one in LA soon.
Cool.
We're doing a couple on the East Coast. We were in Boston last weekend. It was on 2 parties on boats in Boston.
Oh shit! So you guys,
wild.
How many followers do you guys have on your Instagram?
Right now we're at 1.3 million.
Yeah.
But
and all of them aficionados of beer. Like
they're
like most
aficionados
of
of hanging out. And
no,
having
yeah,
a good
aficionados
time.
of understanding
weekend culture.
Guys,
They're good time aficionados.
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah.
People,
and girls.
people
girls too, girls.
who, I mean, the cliche, like they work for the weekend, which
Right.
which we all
been
do.
doing for years. Yeah.
But yeah,
we get to drink beers.
they're
at
all
2
very
o'clock in
light.
the afternoon with George today.
like-minded in that sense.
So you guys, you have a promoter and all that stuff? Or
Well,
or-
the promoters will come to us and be like, "Hey, can you come to Boston?"
Oh, sweet.
And so these guys set us up on these boats, and we did one in New York, July 4th weekend. Anyways, I disobeyed all my cardinal rules in New York,
Ran
and
fucking lights?
I got out of the stick to beer situation, and the guy brought out a beer bong, and they're pouring sangria into the beer bong, and I was like, I'm gonna go shot for shot with this guy tonight. And it was our first big event of the summer, and I got taken home at 11:30. Don't remember anything.
Yeah, it was one of those moments where I know Jack very well. We're brothers, by the way.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
And so I've seen Jack. I know his tolerance.
states.
So
I know your body.
His behavior. I can see when his behaviors are starting to veer into he's getting too drunk territory.
Sort of lights are on.
How did you make that hard right?
Lights are on, but nobody's home.
You know you were going in that direction, right? Because immediately, listen,
Yeah.
I've been drinking since I was 13. I've never had fucking sangria out of a beer bong.
Yeah, I was the first to meet that.
I never seen it. I've never seen it.
That,
Shout out this guy, turned Tony.
hey, Grant, well, you're doing a fucking beautiful job. You left the fucking.
Oh no, our computers were fucking.
All right,
it's fixed.
Just
now.
take the hit. Just say sorry,
Yeah.
George. Sorry, George.
It was at an Italian restaurant. Yeah, and
It's very confusing.
I'm sitting there in my head. I know, like, okay, Jack is on a slippery slope. I trusted him. I was like, maybe he's
shouldn't
not
have.
that drunk. And then
Yeah.
we get to the venue, and it's a concert, so there's 3 different acts, and the first performer's on. Very sparse crowd. No one's really there yet.
Right.
But Jack's already on stage. Like,
Oh, shit.
wait, I'm like, all right, dude, this is
remember that,
not
Jack?
the moment. To
I
be,
do not, actually. No.
Like pumping up the 15 people in the crowd. Like,
Ah!
no, dude,
They need to get pumped up.
hype
apparently.
man.
They appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every 15 people have their own hype man.
Yeah. So we changed the regimen for Boston, and they were like, you guys, we got you this tequila, we got you this vodka to drink, and I was like, no, let's just get some Bud Lights and some Pacificos, and we stuck to the diary of just Bud Lights after Bud Lights, and we had a great time. I got a little tired and sleepy, honestly.
So the guys who enjoy beer, are they sticking to just the same beer all the time? They don't move around, do they?
I mean, I think there are some people who are like really loyal to a certain brand, and like they are like PBR
She's Bud Light
guys,
tattoo.
or but in general, I mean, I think most beer drinkers, that like the beauty of it is like how diverse it is, and like you can try like IPAs, and you have your light beers, and you have tasting flights, and there's a whole world of beer that's like
Big world.
constantly like you're discovering new things and the new tastes, and that's like there's an excitement behind it. That is, I think, different than some other types of liquor.
But let's say like Gordon Biersch and that kind of stuff, where they do the beer there, or when they started to do craft beers and microbrews.
Yeah,
You're not.
I respect those guys, but that's not
what
the
it's all
Friday
about.
beers
Right,
mentality.
that's what
It's
I'm
like
saying.
it's just like, if I don't have my smutty nose IPA,
Yeah,
I won't
sure.
have an IPA tonight.
Yeah, right, that's
and
what
like
I'm saying.
every beer tastes good to me, and I think that's probably what most of our fans feel is just like, this will get the job done. Like, we celebrate all shapes and sizes.
You know what
and colors.
the thing about beer is, you could watch a softball game with some kids you never met.
Yeah.
And if you sat there in your chair with your 12-pack, just reaching down into it, you don't have to look, you know what's there, and you're sitting there,
Immediately bonded.
you would have an incredible time. And
Yeah.
you go, hey, where did your son play? I don't have a fucking son. I'm just watching.
I'm trying to play on Aaron's softball team, but he says they can't drink at the LA Park, so I lost a little bit of momentum.
Well, that was one thing.
That's rough.
Wait a minute. You can't drink in at LA Park?
Yeah, I learned that over the pandemic because I'd be going
legally.
out there with friends and we'd have drinks, and like after we've done it a couple times.
But wait a minute. No, wait.
Security guy walks up like, you can't do that.
Yeah.
But wait a minute. At the beach, they come around those ATVs and
Yeah,
look at
yeah,
it and
yeah.
see if you're drinking.
Yeah.
But this is new to me. At the LA parks, you can't drink beer?
Can't drink beer at the park, right, Aaron?
If you had a birthday party, you couldn't have beer there?
You have to be sneaky about it, but
Yeah.
you're not supposed to.
I mean, I don't think it was never an issue. Like, you could have it out. Like, who's the fucking go to the park? That's almost like going to a fucking skating rink. Hey, man, you can't wear fucking skates in here. What the fuck are you talking about? Fucking skating
Yeah,
rink?
we're
Like,
just
it's
trying
part
to
of being
drink
at the
outside.
crazy.
Yeah.
And they go around and they write tickets to people that are drinking beer, like at a baptism at the park. Baptism at the
There's not a ton of park
lax enforcement.
baptisms either.
Yeah. Well, it depends where you live. but yeah, right. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, when people have come up to me, it's always, I mean, they've always been like, hey, bro, like, this is so stupid, but you're not allowed to drink that out here. Technically, like, put it away so I don't get in trouble. Like, no one's been a dick about it, but they enforce it.
What are the guys drinking in Boston? What's the beer
Oh,
in
Sam
Boston?
Adams. Sam Adams, is like the Boston beer.
Right.
Also, shout out Cisco Brewers. They have a big thing going on in Northeast in Boston, and we're going to go have an event at their brewery in 2 weeks. But that's
Is that in Boston as well?
They have one in Boston.
Yeah.
They have one in Nantucket and other places. But I think Sam Adams would lay claim to Boston.
So Sam Adams, they have a lot of different kinds of beers, right?
Oh, yeah.
And then they even
Yeah.
have like a apple.
Yeah, they got tons of
pumpkin.
different
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
But wherever they brew, wherever their brewery is, like how long have they been in brewing for a long?
I don't know, 100 years or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like,
Since the Revolutionary
Yeah.
War.
How old is America?
yeah, they're having the revolution.
I think it's about that
breaks
time.
Breaks the bottle, hit the beer out of it. But Sam Adams is, I would say, one of those beers that you can drink in the backyard. You could drink it at an event. You could drink it at the park. You could drink it at the water.
The ballpark.
It's a great brand of beer, right? Like because they have variety, but you know that you're not going to go wrong with any Sam Adams.
They've got like Boston lagers, like their classic, like I guess marquee one. Then they have in the summer ale, winter lager.
Yeah, beautiful.
That's marketing, man.
They got the Oktoberfest.
I got my wife just divorced me. Oh, I'll have that lager. Yeah.
Ale.
Yeah. That goddamn
barely
bitch
fits in
ale.
a bottle.
Yeah,
You're like reading it around
and
the whole time.
also for reference, because I am older than you guys, every car accident, and if they left the car there while they were waiting to tow it, had a Mickey's Big Mouth in the front seat. Every accident that was caused by somebody drinking had, the Mickey. You've seen the Mickey's Big Mouth, right?
I think so, yeah.
It's like a malt liquor, but it looks like a barrel. It's a green glass,
Right.
And it looks like a barrel, and the mouth of the fucking beer is that big. Like when you open it, it had like a pull top, almost like a shrimp cocktail.
Yeah. Campbell's soup. Yeah.
Yeah, and you'd pop it open and you would go like that. I don't know what the fuck. I mean, it's that wide, and that it's like a
Just like a cup with extra steps.
and two of those. It was, I think Mickey's Big Mouth was. It's Irish, I would believe.
I would think so.
I
Yeah.
can see why that'll fuck you up too.
Yeah.
When the main selling point is just how easy
Oh,
it is to get it all anyway.
Yeah,
Faster consumption.
but that's against the theory of you guys, right? Is to be driving completely blacked out.
we don't. Let us be clear. We do not endorse that.
No, not at all.
Operating any type of heavy machinery.
No, but this is just the thing that's great.
21
is
or
that,
older.
Yeah.
I think the guys that I grew up with, that we grew up drinking, like we would go to the tequila, but I think we would have had a better time just chilling.
Well, you don't have many options when you're young like that. Like you drink paint thinner if
You
you
know
don't
what,
get
man?
drunk.
We I don't know where I fucking got this idea. We drank some slow gin fizz.
Okay.
I don't know if I've ever had slow gin before.
I know.
You know what slow gin is?
I do.
So slow gin, I think it's like it's an alcohol, and then
I'm gonna see if I can pull it up.
what's in a
Just-
slow gin fizz? Anyways,
Gin, presumably.
gin, and then you mixed it with like strawberry soda, like Nesbitt's
Yeah.
strawberry soda.
That's the
We
right
went to go
mix.
get some more strawberry soda. I backed into a fucking car at the liquor store on Laurel Canyon and Chatsworth. Bam! Dude came out, fucking didn't see it.
Really?
I fucking slow gin, man.
Yeah, we
We left that night could have been brutal, but it didn't take long for all of us to be.
Fast times on slow gin.
Yeah.
Gone, dude.
So I've never heard of this. I'm looking it up. And
I don't
it's
think any of
slow-
those dudes have ever had slow gin after that. I know I haven't.
Well, and it's not like slow, like the opposite of fast either. It's
SLOE.
SLOE,
Yeah.
which is some. I'm still trying to find out. It said it's made by soaking slows. So whatever the fuck.
Yeah,
is slow is.
it's awesome. It's awful.
But yeah, that's some fancy shit.
The world is racing to get back to normal and start meeting up in person again. But after the year that we've all had, getting back and feeling normal takes time. I have been in therapy or around a therapist for 21 years. And, I used to think I was alone. but having somebody that you could talk to makes all of the difference. So if you're feeling overwhelmed by all of this, know that you're not alone and find the support that you need to face those feelings and move forward. A lot of times you can't really talk to the people that are in your life. It should be something that from someone who's a trained professional and not someone who's going to tell you, you know what, I checked out, I wasn't listening. So get unbiased feedback and advice from a personal licensed professional. And that makes all the difference. It's refreshing, it's rewarding. And when you're in a low point, you might feel like you're alone, but over 50% of Americans struggle with their mental health. So don't feel like you're ever alone, and don't feel like you have to struggle with your mental health. And take it from somebody who's alone a lot of times. I've been talking to somebody for 21 years, and I don't think I could have said any of that to any of my friends or family. So know that you're not alone, and mental health is a serious, serious issue, especially after the year that we've had. So start feeling better. You can feel better with a single message. Try it out. I mean, hey, they match you with a licensed therapist. When you go to TalkSpace.com, you get $100 off your first month with the promo code OMGHI. That's $100 off when you use the code OMGHI at TalkSpace.com. Good luck. The world is starting to open up again, and the Performance Package 4.0 from Manscaped is here to help you get ready. Inside, you will find the Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, weed whacker, ear and nose hair trimmer. Listen, man, as you get older, as you're a guy, you need to take care of the things that you can't see. Hair in your nose that's long, hair in your ears that's long, and if you get to, the Golden Palace down there, you want your foliage to be top notch. And Manscaped and the Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer and the Weed Whacker and the ear nose trimmer, listen, will make you look better than you are rightly should look. Tight, clean, those crazy ass eyebrows, nobody should have those. So a world-class discount in this post-quarantine world. This package is the perfect package for your package, your huevos, your pelos, and peak performance. And you know what? You don't feel bad, when you're dropping those and they're taken care of there. It's like when someone's house is dirty and you go, oh, don't mind the mess. But then they're inside, they're like, man, this place is a fucking dump. Now, you keep your hair right, you look right, and when your hair looks right, down there, the world is right. So the Lawnmower 4.0, which is what I have, has a 7,000 RPM motor. Those pubes, even the stubborn ones, never had a chance. And they can't hide in there, like around the taint. So this is where we're at. Get 20% off free shipping with the code OMGHI at manscape.com. That's 20% off free shipping with the code OMGHI at manscape.com. Oh my God, hi. And achieve pubic glory this year with Manscaped, and it'll be so smooth, she won't know your secret. I live alone, so the great thing about Green Chef is that it lets you choose from a wide array of easy-to-follow recipes, perfect for keto and paleo and plant-powered diets, or even if you just want to eat a more balanced way. They have a healthy food, healthy lifestyle, and it makes it easier to kind of eat at home and you're cooking dinners and stuff, that everything is all well balanced and you're not trying to put something together. Everything is handpicked, featuring organic veggies, high quality proteins delivered to your door, pre-measured and mostly prepped in insulated packages. That's very important. So, I've done Green Chef, and I got to tell you, man, like, even if you get home and you open the refrigerator, something is waiting for you, as opposed to having to eat maybe 45 minutes later. So, tell me, what's your favorite Green Chef recipe? If you're just starting with Green Chef, good luck, because it's awesome, man. And Green Chef saves you time. And why be putting the thing together in the kitchen when Green Chef will help you out, get you back to gaming or watching TV or just chilling faster than normal? Go to greenchef.com/OMGHI100 and use the code OMGHI100 to get 100 off, including free shipping. All right, free shipping, that's a big deal. So that's greenchef.com/OMGHI100 and use the code OMGHI100 to get 100 off, including free shipping. Green Chef, the #1 meal kit for eating well. If you haven't done it, I recommend that you do it. and do it with your wife and do it with your family and do it with your kids, and you all will be eating better, and no one will have to be embarrassed because they decided to eat better while everybody else is still eating the same way. Go Green Chef and get all on the same page, because it's that time. After this year, we need to start eating good and better and feel better and be better.
So you're talking about drinking at like a random softball game with guys. There's no better example of that when you go to a baseball game and you start out, you're like sitting in a section of some dudes, don't know each other. 7th inning, team's winning, arms around each other, cheers in, buying each other beers. Hey, throw me that dip or whatever. Like,
Yep.
Just instantaneous bonds over these type of drinking beers together.
So what's happening at sporting events too, when dudes are like knuckling up and throwing blows, like they're just overserved?
Yeah, I think they're probably drinking like fucking whiskey at the game.
That's the thing. Like the beer drunk is
it's usually a
the beer drunk
friendly.
is bad.
I've got a great saying. This is my friend, shout out to my friend Adel, who coined this.
Is it better
saying.
than mine? What was mine? The one I said earlier. Feel better longer.
Feel better longer. No, that's really good.
Right.
But he coined this college. He goes, the beer drunk is the best drunk, and thus the hardest to achieve.
Yes.
You have to really work for it, and it's just like a jolly good time drunk.
right.
You have to get to
it's
yeah.
Yeah.
a bit more harmless than
You love
But
beer.
you got to power through
but
sometimes.
can I-
I'm full, but I need another beer to keep this going.
Can one of
Pull your trigger.
one of those guys that's like a beer drinker, like a guy's guy, can one of those guys lose it and start grabbing people and wanting to fight? It's
I think only when under duress. I think
Right?
that's
It's not
backed into a corner.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
because alcohol gets that.
that's
Yeah.
when you really
Gets you to
turn.
do that.
Yeah.
But if you're drinking beer,
I don't
You're
think
chill.
the guy who drinks beer is going looking for a fight. I think
don't
the
think
guy
so.
who's ripping JMO shots is going looking for
Also,
a fight.
yeah.
And he probably has a tiny penis.
It also really depends how bad the game is going.
Right. Right.
I don't know. Is this like
And there's a lot. I
classic
mean, that's a
rivalry?
big thing.
But
I feel like LA, you hear about like the LA and the Giants, like brawls in the stands
Yeah,
and stuff like
that's
that.
true.
There's a lot of shit like that happens out here. Like where we're from in New York, like I don't even feel like a Yankee Stadium. Maybe the guy got kicked out of Yankee Stadium for throwing a ball at a Red Sox player yesterday.
yeah, I threw it at Alex Verdugo.
Yeah. We're Yankees
But why
fans,
do you do
but-
that? And you know, as many baseball fans go to baseball, like millions of them
Yeah.
over the years, and I've been going to Dodger Stadium since 1967.
Yeah.
I've never seen a fucking player get hit with a
I've never
ball
seen it at
from
all.
a fan.
Yeah.
It's nuts. That guy's banned from all 30 baseball stadiums now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, lifetime
I
ban.
just didn't see the throw. Was it very intentional? Like
I didn't see the throw either. Did you see the throw, Aaron?
It happened during the commercial.
Okay, so they didn't even get it on film, but
because he was sitting like pretty high in the bleachers.
Guy's got a good arm.
He's got a cannon.
Yeah. Fucking today's on a 10-day.
He's not allowed in the stands of the 30 stadium. Dugout, all right.
Right.
Yeah. But but I see that more now because also remember, like, you know, now all those stadiums have fucking hard liquor, and you can get
Oh, yeah.
a
They've got
double
full
shot
bars.
of fucking tequila where you couldn't.
Cost $38, but you can get a
Yeah.
double shot of whatever.
But you couldn't get any of that shit back before with beer, hot dogs, peanuts,
Yeah.
Cracker Jacks and
crack-
beer.
that was it.
Yeah.
And now I think with all that, when
Welcome to the Johnny Walker suite where we can have any type
we'll
of
have a
liquor.
waitress come over to you. so when I would go to Dodger games, I used to sit right behind home plate, and I'd get margaritas, and then, you know, you're every pitch you're on home plate. So I was like, fucking motherfucker would send me a message, and you go like, "Hey man, that's your third margarita. Slow down, right?"
Yeah.
So
it's a third inning.
I would be like, "What the fuck, man? How do they know?" So I told the waitress, I said, "Hey, can you bring me like a margarita, but put it in like a Coke cup with a lid?" And then your next fucking message, "What are you, a fucking diabetic? That's your fourth Diet Coke." Fuck, man. Like they count your fucking count your shit.
Right.
And I would never leave. Like, well, when I was going to baseball games or events, with my grandfather, he, you know.
Just
Fucking
say-
sixth inning, he'd go, "Let's go. This game is
traffic,
over." Like, it's 1-0.
Right.
And I would have to leave. He was my right. And now I never leave. So especially when you're sitting behind home plate, if I left, it would be like, "Oh fuck."
No, it's bad luck.
Yeah, it's bad luck.
Yeah.
It's bad luck. But I think that directly relatable is that, like, sometimes people get tickets that wouldn't necessarily be behind home plate,
Right.
and then it comes with the never-ending.
Oh, I love watching
Buffet.
who is down there. Yeah. And all of these, a lot of these new stadiums have like such good hospitality when you get to sit down there too.
And you can have
His Dodger Stadium probably has amazing hospitality.
Yeah.
I've never been there yet. Yeah.
And if you get a ticket from your boss or somebody like that, they won't stop.
Hey,
you.
does All
You can
Things
eat
Comedy
forever.
have tickets? You can take us to the Dodgers game?
Not currently.
I can.
We're working on that box.
Okay, yeah.
I'll
Let's
take
go,
you
let's
guys.
go there.
Yeah.
I'd love to go.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go.
I'd love to go to the
go,
Dodgers
baby.
game. I haven't been yet. Let's go one of the classic ballparks and stadiums in America.
But then also like stadiums have contracts with
certain
not even beer company, but a certain organ like Arthur or whatever they do, and then you have to get what they have.
what
right?
they provide. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fucked up. They won't let me bring my 30 rack of Bud Lights.
Or you can't get a
No
Bud-
natty caddies in Dodger Stadium.
Yeah. or you can't get but like at Dodger Stadium they had this thing Estrella.
Yeah. Estrella Galicia, I think.
Yeah, Jalisco.
That's or Jalisco, yeah.
What is it?
That's a new
is this?
Anheuser-Busch beer.
I thought they were making a fucking movie.
Yeah.
I said, what? Fucking prop
When's this
time?
come out?
Yeah.
But it's their version of what would
Estrella
be
Jalisco, yeah.
like Tecate or something.
Yeah, it's like a Mexican lager.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it good?
I haven't had it. Did we have it?
Yeah.
Did we try that?
It's good. Yeah, we
Someone
tried
here
it.
likes some
They
Mexican
spent a lot.
stuff.
Yeah, they spent a lot of money.
Yeah.
On that. How did the original idea come about?
So what we were
Doing
doing
account.
before we started Friday Beers is we were like writing sketch comedy, and we were doing that for like 4 or 5 years. We basically we had an Instagram account called 20 something comedy, and we would make sketches, write them, act in them, edit them, put them out on our little Instagram account, and we could never like really break like a critical
Right.
threshold of like
Yeah.
8,000 followers.
Yeah.
And we were also working.
We were working max
full-time
work, yeah.
jobs.
Right.
Yeah,
and this
pay
was
the
kind of a
bills.
side hustle.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was like kind of inefficient in the sense of building.
It takes a
an
long
audience.
time to make sketches, and then people on Instagram, like they don't really have the attention span to watch like a 2-minute sketch.
But when you guys
3-minute
opened the
sketch.
account, you didn't really have a following or anything,
We
right?
had nothing.
And you just did it based on.
Well, what we used to get a big following was instead of like going out and filming our own sketches, we just took footage from TV shows, movies, sports, put up music behind it,
Yeah.
and then we used text on top of those
Right.
to start like telling the jokes that we were writing in our own sketch
Oh,
comedy.
shit, brilliant.
So talk about relatability. People like see a clip from Old School, It's Always Sunny. They see a clip from an NFL game. That drew them in really well. That allowed them to understand the jokes that we were telling, and that allowed them to understand the characters we were introducing. And that just started jumping and jumping and jumping.
Yeah,
really fast.
it really is genius. I don't know if you had a chance to really like check out much of them or anything, but like they take these moments, just the iconic scene that you're already sort of like talking with your friends about. Like I remember growing up, it's like there wasn't barely even comedy. You just like tell Anchorman jokes to each other, like quote shit, and this is like the sort of modern take on that, where everyone still has those same sort of like touch points.
Yeah.
They're like, oh yeah, fuck it, like Old School and Anchorman and all that
Yeah.
shit, and like the way that you can sort of you've built the characters over time, and the way you can just slot them all in. Like I
You
love
could
those
tell
fucking
sketches with other people's content. You can make sketches with other
can.
people's content. And Max and I have a pretty deep knowledge of like movies and especially comedy movies and TV shows. Because again, as Grant was saying, growing up, it's just all about what movies and TV shows.
And
can
TV
you
show.
pull.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
that's
Yeah.
a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off.
Which one is that one?
Oh, that's from Dodgeball.
Dodgeball.
That's,
Oh, I didn't see
that's-
Dodgeball.
oh, Dodgeball. Classic. That one holds up.
Jason Bateman, Dodgeball. Yeah.
And which one is it in Old School? The Hank the Tank?
Frank the Tank.
Frank the Tank?
That's a big fellow.
That's a big one.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
I mean, that's probably one of our most used clips ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that.
When it
and
goes
that,
like
that
that, and the thing.
I mean,
Once it hits your lips, it's so good. There's not a better quote than.
Tastes so good.
and
Once it hits
that's
your
the
lips,
kind
it's so
of
good.
the comedy that shaped us growing up, and
Yeah.
and the comedy that kind of died out over the past decade, and that we were kind of Jack and I were searching like how do we
I think it's fucking died out over because of political correctness. and all that
right
shit
and
that-
and for good reason. A lot of like those movies have not aged well and couldn't be remade the same way today, and rightfully so. But there are elements of that
will
comedy,
always be
that
funny.
universe are always going to be funny and relatable. We just wanted to find a way to tell them in 2021 that
and that's the way people are telling those stories.
yeah, it's
Right.
like it's pretty simple. It's like just be self-deprecating first and foremost. Like don't punch down,
Yeah.
and like you can still tell those
Yeah.
jokes, and you're not going to offend anyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't, and like we just didn't want to give up on that brand of humor because we loved it so much.
Right.
And we found a way to kind of repurpose it, and it still resonates with people.
Yeah. That's what do you call them, live memes or something like that.
Someone called them live action.
I've heard
live action memes.
Live action memes. That's right. Which I did because I'm a
But the
big
characters.
meme fan myself.
Because I'm a meme guy.
Give me the. Well, there's a lot of. I mean, well, even like in All in the Family or things like that, where if you were doing a sitcom back in the day, like the father would come home and get a beer,
Right?
Like Al Bundy and
Al Bundy was the
all
original
stuff that they would do.
non-politically correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It took away the Archie's place that they had that bar they would go to, when I was doing my show, when I got signed to do a show, Bruce Alford had done Drew Carey, and then they always had a bar they went to, right? Is Drew Carey on that list with Mimi and all? Probably not.
We don't use a lot of Drew Carey.
We should.
Jot that down.
That's untapped source for us.
People forget about that show.
Yeah.
They do forget about that show. It was big. And then he said to me, you need to find a place that you would go to, And I worked on Raymer and Sepulveda at ITT, and Bob Bonner. This guy probably shouldn't his real name. Bob Bonner and I would go. He would say, "Hey man, you thirsty?" And I would say, "What time is it?" He's like, "Yeah, it's like 11:45." Yeah, I'm thirsty. So there was maybe about a quarter of a mile up. There was a strip club called Thirsties. And they had pictures of beer and like pasta. They had pretty good food.
Lunch buffet?
But we would go over there and knock out a couple pitchers of beer at lunch and then watch these girls dance in front of us. It was like a red barn.
Yeah.
And
Sorry, where did you say this was?
I don't think it's there anymore. And then Thirsties, right? So
That's so good.
when they asked me on my show, like, we need a place to where you guys could go after work, I said, how about Thirsties? And Bruce is like, oh, that's a fucking great name.
Genius.
What's that? I said, it's this place, so Thirsty. So we went to Thirsties. They said yes. We started to use Thirsties.
Oh, you shooting it there?
Yeah. No, we used the name. And we created the bar on the stage.
Yeah.
And then I have the actual Thirsties door for my show at my house.
Wow.
Oh, do you? Oh,
yeah.
that's awesome.
When you walk in, if you see the show. And then one day, my wife, when I was married, my wife comes in, and I think the show was already over, and she goes, hey, I was driving on Sepulveda, and Thirsties is a strip club. I'm like, what? No.
They must
She
have
goes, yeah, it's a fucking, it became a titty bar.
They must have changed their entire approach.
That's what I told her. That's
great.
the whole thing.
To
But
think I inspired.
that was one of those places where you could go during the day, and you don't want to put the clientele was dudes who would sit around in the afternoon and have beer and watch girls dance and have fucking spaghetti.
Spaghetti?
I didn't have a problem with any of
That's
that
a
shit.
great dish.
I did not have an issue with, I also drink beer early.
The world famous
if you like beer, you like.
Thirsty spaghetti.
Ronald Reagan said, he's like, you're eating ice cream in the snow on a cold day, and he's like, when you like ice cream, you eat it at any time. Like, it doesn't need to be hot to eat ice cream. I drank beer first thing in the morning.
Got a saying in my family: you can't drink all day if you don't start in the morning.
Brush your teeth. Yeah.
But all that stuff is I think of all of the things that are out there, it's the safest of all the things to drink.
It's the most relatable
yeah.
alcoholic beverage out there. It's the everyman.
Have you guys been to Chicago and done anything in Chicago yet?
We've been to Chicago, but not for Friday beers. Because one of the ironic parts of us starting the account is it coincided with like the worst time for like going to bars ever. So
you guys filled that void. For
we were.
I have a proposal for us.
Okay.
If you guys are into it, across the street from Wrigley Field.
I'm into it.
All right, I got you already.
Yeah.
There's a statue of Harry Carey.
Yeah.
And I went to this place. I'll tell you the name. There was a military dude there. We're drinking beer. And the base of the statue is pretty high, maybe like this high.
Yeah.
And this dude jumped on the bar from a standing. I mean, only with beer can you do that. We're not going to be sitting around at a seminar going, I could fucking stand. I could jump from a stand still on this table. Nobody's going to do that sober. So in the bar, they go, in the bar they go, this dude, and he was standing there.
Yeah.
He jumped up and he landed with room to spare. He didn't go like this. He fucking went up there, and you're like, that's fucking impressive as fuck. So we go outside. There's a Harry Carey statue with the base of it is a little bit higher.
Yeah.
And he fucking did it outside too.
So you want us to go try it? Is that what you're saying?
I want us to go and do a beer event at Murphy's Bleachers, which is across the street from
Done.
where you
100% in. That's where we have to go.
Murphy's
Yeah.
Bleachers. If you're out there, I know
Yeah.
you're out there. We're gonna come over and we're gonna have an event.
We gotta. I wish
Tweet
we
at
actually could go to
Good
Chicago
place.
in the summer, because Chicago in the summer is like one of the greatest cities in the world.
Unbelievable.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
the greatest. It's the best.
You're
city
talking
ever.
about drinking early. How do they have it in Chicago where people just like don't work on Fridays? They play the Cubs games at like noon, at 1, and like everyone's in the bar at 10 a.m. out there.
I know, but you know
It's
what?
awesome.
Because, like, they've always done it.
Yeah.
And the soul of that place is not like here.
Right.
And you could walk to places that helps too.
Closing down Thirsties.
You can't over there. I think the biggest thing is that you can walk to the stadium, you
Right.
can get on the L,
Yeah,
and you could get
totally.
home. Like you don't,
Yeah.
you're not.
Yeah.
Nobody's in the car.
Right, right.
But they also drink, and they can handle it. It's like a
Yeah,
drinking.
because you drink,
it's a
you
drinking
eat
city.
16 kielbasa's while you're drinking beer.
Exactly.
We were drinking over there. I threw out the first pitch and sang, the national
Right.
anthem a couple of times.
Nice.
Or the seventh inning stretch.
Yeah.
And they bring like that cart of dessert.
Right.
We're hammered.
Oh yeah.
I grabbed some fucking candy apples, and over the thing on the suite where the suites are, there's a whole group of people over there that are under kind of like the bleacher down the third baseline. So I start grabbing like a big bag of M&Ms and I start I start throwing candies and marshmallows and M&Ms and fucking.
They must have loved you.
All of it. So they're going, they're all fucking cheering.
Yeah.
And then a lady comes in, she taps me and she gives me a piece of paper. It's fucking $350 of fucking fucking candy I threw out there. But it was
equivalent
fun.
of
Like,
a
it was
hotel
worth
fridge.
it.
Worth it.
Yeah, having a fucking fun size. There's
Yeah,
no
fun
fun size
size.
in Chicago.
Yeah.
It's like this of M&M.
Yeah.
Like that of Reese's Pieces.
You ever been to the bar Sluggers outside of Wrigley Field?
No.
They have the batting cages there. So
And
nice.
in
they have batting cages in the bar. So every time
Seems like a liability.
every time I've been to a Cubs game, I gotta go take BP at Sluggers. Just like
All right, well, here's what we're going to
See
do.
if I
We're
still
going to
got
go
it.
Yeah.
half to Murphy's Bleachers and half to Sluggers.
Done.
Yeah.
That is actually one of the biggest, like, not, I won't say bucket list, but like targets for us to get to for
Yeah.
Friday beers.
Let's do
that.
it.
Yeah.
Can we do it?
Yeah. Grant, set it up right now.
I don't see how. Hold on, let me just text my guy at Sluggers.
I got a nice following in Chicago. I think we could do it. I
Yeah,
think
it
we
would
could
be
do it.
amazing.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
That really would be.
We could do it in August.
Yeah.
I'm going to try to do one thing while we're here.
There you go. Well, you could do it around like next St. Patty's Day, where they turn the river
Ooh.
fully.
That's a
green.
war
They
zone,
turn-
dude.
Yeah, that's true.
Chicago St. Patrick's Day is like, you better be wearing tactical gear.
But I don't think they throw, man. They just have fun. I don't think they're.
No, yeah,
I don't
yeah.
think they're throwing. Nobody's throwing blows.
Actually,
up.
I do feel like you always get like a surprisingly good like report the next day, where it's like Chicago was crazy, but pretty much everyone just had a good time.
Right? No. Yeah. What are the movies that are relatable beer wise?
Beer
Like you guys
Fest.
said, Beer Fest. Oh, yeah.
Beer Fest is an all-timer. I mean, our canon of movies is like Old School, Anchorman, Billy Madison, Happy Gilmore.
I mean, I say Dumb and Dumber, Caddyshack.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Caddyshack.
Are there
Caddyshack
any
for
like
sure.
more recent? Because I feel like you guys are hitting a sort
Honestly,
of classic.
but you know what?
vibe.
Not so many. Like,
What was the last year they made in the early 2000s? What was the last year they made a movie that people?
we
like
did
that?
this. We did this
Was it old
exercise
school?
recently, and it's like it's hard to find one past like 2010.
I
It
think
is.
so.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
is.
Hangover was maybe like the last one that we like frequently draw
Yeah.
from.
Which was what, 2008?
It's like
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that's like there was a decade where there was a huge absence.
People don't
in
really
terms of
go
that
for
type of
making like
comedy.
those sort of like laugh out loud R-rated comedies anymore.
When there was, I never even saw it, so I'm like kind of case in point. But it was that Will Ferrell, Amy Poehler, like The House or something
Yeah.
like that. Where remember it seemed like it was going to
The
be
House?
That sort of-
Yeah.
I got
They
sent
also
that
have
script. The
super-
House script was great, and the movie was not. Like, it was really cool because they were
Yeah.
running like a casino in somebody's house.
yeah,
Yeah.
good concept.
Yeah.
The guy was gonna break legs, and they had the councilman and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it didn't translate.
It feels like for the past decade, like the business part of show business was just like, I don't want to do this anymore
Right.
for some reason. But I'm hopeful, especially with streaming and Peacock. I'm
Right.
Hope that stuff's coming.
But then like something like Old School
That's like 2004.
for
yeah,
Yeah.
where
Wedding Crashers.
Yeah.
and also
Wedding Crashers.
those guys weren't really known yet. Like
Oh
Vince
yeah, that
wasn't
was
those guys.
Yeah, that was like sort of their first ensemble.
So it kind of
like that.
yeah. And I don't think I know Luke. I don't think they even knew what was really kind of happening until they were done.
Right,
Yeah, I don't
It
think
just
so.
be just
It's
became
such a good
thing.
concept. Now I read that we're on the plane the other day, and I was just reading the description of Old School, like the Delta description. It was like two 30-something or like a group of 30-something tries to like relive their college glories, like that is so perfect.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I showed it to my daughter. My daughter's 25, and she's like, she's amazed. Like, where's this
Yeah, I
movie?
mean, I watched
It used to be like this.
I watched Old School first time when I was 14, and I didn't even know what fraternity was. So like, I watched it when I was 14, watched it when I was 19, watched it when I was 24, watched it when I was 29. Like it just gets better every time I watch.
Part of the responsibility we feel with Friday Beers is to kind of educate Gen Z about this lost era of comedy.
Old time
You know,
capsule.
people are like, "Wait, what is what is old school? Like,
Right.
Caddyshack, Good Neighbor stuff, all the sketch comedy. Like, they don't know about it.
They've like never seen Zoolander before.
Yeah.
but they like
That's fucked up.
it is fucked up. And they probably never even
Zoolander.
seen. They probably never even seen a movie before. Right? They're probably they're
They were
probably
all
just
watching
like,
Quibi.
So wait, where is the the
also-
associated TikTok dance I do with it?
But
They're all so
also,
confused.
I know it's
Yeah.
a big deal when you saw like somebody drinking an actual fucking. Well, back then you could drink a beer with the can in it. Like, you didn't have to try to hide shit from anybody because everything was so kind of undiscovered yet.
Right.
That people weren't offended if you pulled out. You were sitting there with a fucking Budweiser, drinking a Budweiser, like it wasn't. You needed to get money to do it.
Right.
Oh yeah. Oh, like
Yeah.
oh, you're talking
Like
like
you
within movies. I went
Yeah,
to
like Caddyshack was no money, and they.
Yeah. Yeah.
That must have been, I mean, really, of all the movies, like
Caddyshack is that's an interesting comparison too, because first of all, we love Animal House, we love Caddyshack,
Animal House.
and we actually love a lot of like what National Lampoon like represented in the late '70s. We actually would like to become like sort of National Lampoon like 2021.
That would be awesome.
Because
I
it
think
was
that-
guys in their like mid 20s into their 30s capturing this like sort of lifestyle around party culture in a really smart way, and they had traditions and sayings and characters, and it lived in a radio show and a magazine and movies.
Oh, yeah.
And we're sort of like, if we can make a character universe that's like resonates with that audience, like what would prevent us from doing like sort of what National Lampoon could do?
You know what? I don't think anything. I think the time is right. As as generations go, and that kind of National Lampoon, the guys probably got older, right?
Right.
It's hard to pass
Yeah.
a mantle like that because so much of it, I don't think, was even structure, right?
No,
I think
it
it's
was not structured.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So-
like I think the brand still exists to some degree. Actually, I
Yeah.
think we did a podcast with them at one point, but like it's been so like corporatized, bought out by private equities,
Yeah.
sort of thing that
Yeah.
is just it's kind of a name at this point.
But also,
Yeah.
if there's that documentary about Cream magazine, that music magazine, and
Oh, I wanna watch that.
And it was a
Fuck.
fucking dude that just liked rock, and he created this magazine,
Yeah.
and he had his hands in it, and then they just started. They had that Boy Howdy guy, the can, and they started to do like the T-shirts. And the magazine wasn't just other than a dude that loved rock, like you guys, beer, like a guy that loved rock.
We love hanging out with our friends and drinking beer.
And when those and when those bands would come, that guy would go over there and interview him, and they would do this thing. He was cool, was a big fan, and then it grew from that. But that's kind of and
That's-
then what changed it was that they'd make a bid to buy your company before
Money
you would,
gets
think, you would never
involved,
think, no, I'm not going to sell this, and then
Yeah.
and then it goes away. But they were doing it. You got to see that thing. It's great. They
If
were
it's
doing it
anything like the
nowhere.
Lampoon documentary, I will be all over it. Was it like Drunk, High, Brilliant, Dead?
The Doug Kenny documentary is different, but the Stupid and Futile Gesture.
Yeah,
is
that's the Doug Kenny
biopic.
biopic.
Yeah.
Which is a great movie, I thought.
Yeah, it was. What was it? Joel McHale like playing young Chevy Chase, right?
Yeah.
That which I just thought was so
and
good.
Forte played
was
Doug Kenny. Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
But the whole thing with that is like there's still 25-year-olds like aren't going anywhere. In fact, there's a new group of 25-year-olds every year.
That's
And
the
a new
thing
gr-
about 25.
Tell me about that.
And-
What do they do? They don't do anything.
No, they just like when you're in that phase, you're like I'd say anywhere from like 18 to 35. Like you just all like your priorities like are your friends. Like you're still figuring out what you're doing like career wise. We're all fucking still figuring it out. Like all these things are like so paramount. Like what you're doing on the weekends are things that keep you going. That if there's no comedy platform that speaks to those kids or that generation, like that's a huge bummer. Like and there's so much humor in that.
Well, I mean, you're absolutely right. I mean, think about. I saw Animal House at a drive-in. I saw Up in Smoke at the drive-in. I saw Next Movie at the drive-in. I saw all those movies in the '70s that were fucking badass.
Yeah.
In hardly ever in a theater, and you could sneak beer into. Not sneak it. You could bring it in.
It was encouraged.
Sneak it.
They would welcome the beer.
They didn't shake your car or anything
Yeah.
for. You'd be like, hey, come on now, forget it.
Yeah.
So when Pacifico first, I went to Ensenada, and then I saw Pacifico. This was like in the mid '80s, and I had a couple Pacificos, and you're like, this is the most fucking amazing beer
It's
I've ever
tasty.
had. That blue and that brown bottle.
Yeah.
So I take literally like 104 Pacificos, and I shove them into my Toyota Celica on the receipt behind the thing. Like they're all over the place.
Yeah.
And I think there's 2 of us, so I think I'm gonna be fucking cool. I go up to the border patrol guy. He fucking goes like this, and I pull over. And he goes, were you, even before he knew what was in there, he goes, were you taking all this beer? The motherfucker knew exactly what I had in there. I swear. And those guys are, fuck, I guess because you see all these cars, like maybe you know when the dude has
inch
to
lower or something.
Yeah. Normally a driver's here, and I was up here. And those dudes were laughing as they pulled beer out of almost everywhere you could pull a beer out of.
Were they actually confiscated?
They took them.
Oh yeah.
And that they were drinking them 2 hours later.
Yeah, I'm sure they were. There was a guy in Chicago too when I was there in the '80s, and I was smoking a cigar in a club. You could smoke a cigar, and this guy goes, well, "Is that a Cuban cigar?" And I go, "Yeah." And he goes, "Let me see." And it's like a Cohiba, and he goes like this, and he's got a Ziploc bag of like 50 cigars. And he goes, "What about these?" And I'm like, Jesus Christ, where'd you get those? He goes, "I work for customs." Fucking
double dipper, dude.
Snatching them, man. I work for customs.
Fucking A.
Fucking happy. If you're going, and listen, if you're going through customs and they find shit and they're able to keep it and take it home, you wouldn't want to work for customs.
Yeah. It's like it's literally your job
That's
to
a
like
huge
catalog.
that's a
Oh
huge
my God! I mean, really.
job.
Just like if you lose your fucking iPad on the plane, you're not getting it. They're lost and found. You go. It's like over there, one shirt. You know,
There's never any bundles of cash.
I don't think they can
lost
take
and found.
as many things they used to be able to before there was a camera on everybody working.
George just said, remind me, he's like, that was when you could still smoke cigars inside, by the way.
Yeah.
So like, you just met, we have a character in our sketch podcast who's like, we call him the old timer. And he's like reminiscing
I wanna be that guy.
how things used to be.
Can I be that?
Really?
Can I do?
You can log in.
Yeah, it's great.
But-
Their first one just came out.
So he's like, you know, you're just talking about, this is when you could smoke cigars inside. Our version of the old timer, he's actually 29. So he's reminiscing about like a time that was just like 2 years ago and trying to seem like older than he is. So he goes, he's talking about smoking a Juul, you know, an e-cigarette. And he's like,
cigarette.
yeah, he goes, that was when you still could smoke a Juul inside, by the way.
But you could do that.
Yeah.
So anybody
Different
between
time.
25 and 35, they're not going anywhere, huh? When they go to Vegas, what are they doing?
You know what? It's interesting because Vegas, I think, has changed so much because now it's all trying to cater to like the 20 to 35 year olds. So Vegas is just all about like pool parties, nightclubs, you know, all places that people get fun. The gambling side of Vegas is not really like catering towards the kids because we're all fucking broke.
They don't have any
you know?
money.
Yeah, people got student.
Everyone's
debt
there
that they
on
gotta pay
a
out.
credit card.
Exactly. Yeah. So
Well, you know, my daughter went last weekend, and then you know she took some friends with her, and I got her in to see a couple of the chain smokers and this other.
Right.
And then she get a fucking message Saturday mid afternoon. Hey, so do I have to tip these guys? Fucking, like, what the fuck? Of course. What are you talking about? I only have $80. I'm like, what the fuck goes to fucking Vegas without any fucking money? And then I go, well, you know, Sean's out there, works with Santana, you know, and he goes, he's got some money. He goes, no, I don't need that, but I mean, fucking calls him up and says, hey, can you drop off $500 at my hotel? And she hasn't called me and told me that she did that, although, you know, she would know. I would know. It's probably
surprisingly word got
but
you.
she goes, no. I said, how much? And I'm like, Mom, what the fuck? Who raised you? What the fuck? Dude takes you to the thing. Fuck, there you go, my man.
Yeah.
What the fuck? And you know how much those fucking tickets are, like, to go see those dudes? Like,
lot.
James, what the fucking 4,000 to
They got a business
12,000.
right there.
yeah. Oh yeah. That's where they make their money, like on bottle service and the tables and all that.
But no performer. There's not a $4,000 ticket in Vegas, is there? Not to see Usher or anything like that, right? Or Gaga. They're not $4,000.
I think
are they?
no. It's all. I think when you see the DJs, it's a whole different ball game, like in terms of pricing, because it's the liquor that you buy.
Yeah, I mean, you're buying tables, you're buying bottles
Fucking
of
bottles.
Grey Goose.
That's what
and-
Bud Light costs
yeah.
$18 when you go.
And you're there for like 6 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you know, but in my day, here's my e-cigarette. In my day, the pool was, I guess now, potentially space that they could have had a party out there. It was all about the nighttime.
Okay. Yeah. Actually,
Nobody was at the pool.
I just watched the Frank Sinatra 2-part documentary,
Pretty
which
good.
was like when Vegas was real Vegas.
Is that streaming somewhere? Where's that? I want to check
It's on
that
HBO.
shit
It's
out.
on
Oh, shit.
HBO.
It's on.
Yeah,
You know,
it's
I
really
watched
good.
that,
Yeah.
and at the end of the second
Yeah.
part, I stood up in the room that I was in.
Yeah.
I was in the
Ovation.
house in the desert. I went. Stood up.
That's
and I was
awesome,
by myself
dude.
because you know what, that dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He changed.
He lived
He
it.
changed everything for a lot of people.
And
yeah.
those dudes were like going
Yeah.
at like 10, all in the middle of the night.
Yeah,
you know, till
that
the
was. I loved their variety show they had with the Rat Pack in Vegas. I had
And
no
they'd be
idea
out there,
about.
They'd roll out that cart with drinks.
Yeah.
They'd be making drinks.
They'd make drinks on the stage. It'd be like
Oh, that's cool.
Dean Martin basically like going off
Yeah.
on like stand up, and like the guys in the back like Sinatra and like Sammy Davis would be like roasting him like from the back. And
fucking jamming on him,
there-
man.
and you know
Yeah.
a full
Yep.
theater of people were just like laughing at these guys clowning around with
Right,
each other.
and everybody was laughing. Nobody was like,
yeah.
you know, that bullshit.
It was
So
crazy.
there was a comedian, he passed, his name was Jackie Vernon. He used to open for Frank Sinatra.
Okay.
So when you opened for Frank Sinatra or you worked with Frank Sinatra, you were like on call 24 hours a day. So if Frank said 3 o'clock in the morning, hey, we're gonna go get something to eat, Pally, you know,
Yeah.
you had to be downstairs at 3 whenever they were leaving.
Right.
You were like a 24-hour a day gig.
Yep.
So he says Christmas Eve, fucking 3 in the morning, Frank Sinatra goes, hey, meet us downstairs. We're gonna go eat, you know. And he's like, all right. So he wants a grilled cheese sandwich at 3:30 in the morning in like the early 70s. And places weren't open 24 hours really, and they couldn't find a place. And they're like, Frank, it's Christmas Eve, man. You know, there's fuck, I gotta find a place that's open. They go to a Chinese restaurant, and they said, you got a grilled cheese with the Chinese people in there. And the Frank Sinatra, they're sitting all around a big table, and they go to the back and they bring like bread, like an open-faced grilled cheese sandwich, which you never see. So they bring them a plate, and it's like bread with cheese, open face. And everybody gets one. He looks down at it and he goes, this is what you call a grilled cheese sandwich? He grabs a plate, fucking stands up and throws it at the wall. Of course, both pieces of bread stick to the wall.
Yeah.
And then it's just silent in the restaurant. And Jackie goes, I picked up mine. I fucking threw it at the wall. Mine stuck. And everybody at the table got their fucking grilled cheese sandwich open face and threw them at the wall. So there's literally like 28 pieces of cheese and bread hanging on the wall of this Chinese restaurant.
Oh, my God.
And takes out a big wad of money, as guy does, and gives them like $1,000, and they all leave. And then they were happy.
They should have kept their
Just
those
throwing-
grilled cheeses up there.
Yeah, it'd be an
Badass.
attraction.
And lacquered them, tape them up there.
Yeah.
But that's what they did. They just and when Frank Sinatra threw his, everybody was like,
Oh, fuck. I'm
yeah,
gonna
fuck
fuck the
this.
wall
I
now.
threw, and then they all started to throw, like jumping
Fall
in the
right
pool.
in the
It was like straight out of
I'm
Entourage
so
or
sorry I have to
something
do
like
this.
Yeah, like Caddyshack when they all
Yeah.
jump in the pool.
Yeah.
Caddy day.
You're gonna throw that grilled cheese open
better.
face,
Yeah. I wouldn't even think they have cheese at a Chinese restaurant.
No, I don't come with cheese.
or like
Yeah.
a standard grilled cheese bread, even.
Right.
Well, I think you guys have a great idea.
It's all about trying to be relatable.
I'm digging it, man. I think
Yeah.
that. And you know what? There's no, like you said, there's no correlation or recognition for dudes that just like to sit around. I'm already buzzed with that one beer.
Yeah. There's another one over there.
Sit around.
Yeah,
Like
different.
that day I brought a couple edibles in here and like 2 10-milligram
Oh yeah.
gummy bears and 2 beers.
Yeah.
I brought my dog. I don't know how the fuck.
Yeah.
You're having a good like 2 minutes.
You actually didn't bring your dog. You imagined.
Oh, what the fuck was that dog? It was- yeah.
No, like 10 minutes into it, you like gave me a look. You're like, oh, this is it.
But this beer's doing
Yeah. Where do you
it's
sell
doing
this
well,
out
man.
of?
You know, I have a couple of restaurants. One is the Bruce Hall in Torrance.
Okay.
Oh, I like hey, should do an event there.
We could
Yeah.
come down.
That'd be
Yeah.
awesome, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do a
Wait,
thing
tell
there.
us about how you like made this though, and like wanted to come up with the idea with it. Did you
Well,
do a lot of the tasting? And like,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And that guy was so good, man, at brewing. So we created the George Lopez Brewing Company.
Yeah.
And there's 4. One is like a hibiscus beer sour.
Yeah, sour. It's great.
One
One of my favorites.
And then they have
Yeah,
this one.
that
They
is.
have
Yeah, we do. We'll hook
and
you
what's the other one?
the orange crema.
Oh, like you know that 50-50 bar, that ice cream, like the Dreamsicle.
Yeah.
We have. I did one that has a little bit of orange, and then what's the
Yeah,
other one?
and the
Just
other one's a grapefruit IPA.
IPA. Yeah.
Ooh,
Nice.
that'd be good for the summer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is
That's
I'm not a big IPA
No,
guy,
but you
it's
could
still
do that in the
pretty
summer.
good.
It's a summer IPA.
But even when I asked the guy that was brewing, I said, "Hey, can you make a beer that tastes like this?" He's like, "Yeah." Can you make a beer
you
that tastes
just
like this?
you just said how you wanted it to taste.
You know Guinness, right? It's a dark.
Yeah,
so I
yeah.
said there's this chocolate that Mexicans drink growing up, like abuelita chocolate, grandmother chocolate.
Right.
It's like a chocolate disc, and you put it in milk that's boiling. And so I said to that dude, hey, can you make a beer that tastes like abuelita chocolate? That motherfucker has, it looks like Guinness, but with no head, you know the thing?
Yeah.
And you drink it and it tastes like Mexican hot chocolate.
Just like eating a
That
chocolate
sounds
bar.
phenomenal.
That's just, and it's not bitter, it's beautiful. I think you guys would enjoy it.
Wait, does
I
that one
guarantee you
exist
I'd
too? Is
like
that
it.
one of your? Is that like a new
It's
one?
not in
or-
a can. I think you can only get it there. I don't know if you put those in.
Yeah,
Guinness
I know.
doesn't travel good. Like, you got to get it.
You know, they sell Guinness out of a can. Yeah. It's just not the
But
same.
there's like instructions.
Yeah.
It's like shake it
Yeah,
up. There's a ball
yeah.
in here. Turn it
Yeah.
upside down into a glass.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
the
there
whole
is like a
thing.
ball in there, huh?
Max and I had a
like
couple
less than
of we had a
nitrous.
couple of Guinnesses. What was it? When England played in the
Yeah.
final of the World Cup, we went to that bar,
Ye
Old King's Head Tavern
Yeah.
in Santa Monica.
Oh, nice.
It was like
Is
being
that on Santa Monica Boulevard?
yeah, it's on the main like
It's
the,
Yeah.
Ocean
Yeah.
Ave. And,
yeah.
Yeah.
It was like
Cinema.
being in the UK.
Right.
Oh yeah.
It was packed to the. There was a 400 person line outside at 10 a.m. We somehow got in.
There's a guy in full
Chainmail.
night skier.
Yeah.
Chainmail armor, yeah, and we had probably 8
Yeah.
Guinnesses, and it was the most electric sporting event I ever watched.
Oh
in a
yeah.
bar.
Oh, it's
and like what time was it too? Because the one
they go
experience
like
like that I
5:30 in the
had.
morning.
It
Yeah,
was,
they-
like
it's open
it's
at
like 7
5:30.
o'clock and the bar is packed and people
Yeah.
are.
It was
And
packed
they
to
fucking
packed to
drink
the gills. So the match started at 12 Pacific, 8 in Europe, and it was jam packed at 9:45 on, and nobody
Oh,
could
yeah.
get in.
Yeah, you couldn't.
It's so. I did that one other time in my life. I worked on the first season of Ted Lasso, and so they brought everyone to like a bar for. It was like a big Champions League game. I forget what, but
Yeah.
like just the craziest atmosphere.
It's it's
2
unbelievable.
stories, people
Yeah.
going crazy, like
Yeah.
climbing the raft. It was just fucking awesome.
You know, if we look at the day in a 24-hour unit, is drinking at 7 a.m. frowned upon in the whole
Yes.
24 hours?
No, and there's a lot of time.
Definitely
I mean,
people
it
who
depends.
frown on
Like,
that.
do you have anything to do that
Yeah.
day?
Yeah, you know what I mean? I like it.
To each his own.
I mean,
yeah. You manage your own schedule. I'm
I
not here
have
to
cereal
babysit you.
sometimes at night for dinner. Why can't I have a beer at 7?
Yeah, I'm with that, dude.
You know, I think so. It depends where you come from. When I left my day job to go and do stand up in 1987, when we started to do clubs, even though nobody knew us, we drank during the day and then went to go take a nap. Like we'd go play golf, drinking
go.
at
Right.
7,
Yeah.
done at 11.
Because you
have
basically
lunch,
start working at 9 o'clock,
and then
or
you would
whatever.
go sleep it off from like
Yeah.
1:30 to like 5.
Makes total sense.
Yeah.
And if
That's
you want a
awesome.
good mid-afternoon nap, you just have an early beer or two.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's the best. Yeah.
It's the best. All right, guys. Well, we got things to do together. We're gonna go to Chicago.
Yeah.
Hell yeah,
You
dude.
just popped out of
And
Torrance.
crawl a little bit and pop down
Yeah.
to Torrance too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's easy.
All right, right on. What's the people want to follow?
Yeah, do you guys want to get just talk about the Instagram and the podcast, whatever? You know, if you got shit to plug away.
Let's
tell the
plug
people.
away,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Obviously, you can find us on Instagram at Friday.beers. That's where we're posting, 7 days a week, all of our found footage sketches. We're really, really psyched about this new show we have
Where can somebody get one of these bad boys?
on FridayBeers.shop.
Badass.
You can get all of our
have
merch
it
on there.
We'll have it on ours too.
Yeah, man.
That's great.
That's there. And this podcast that we just released the first episode of last Friday, it's like it.
Called Welcome to Friday. Yeah.
It's with ATC. It's a ton of great. We'll get you to do a voice on it, George. That'd
Oh
be
yeah,
awesome.
please. I'd love to. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to be doing seasons, right? But every
It's
week,
season.
every
We got
week
10
for
episodes
some
for the rest of the summer every Friday.
Oh, beautiful.
20 minutes of sketch comedy. You tune in on a Friday when you're driving to work, you're leaving work.
You know what? Nobody's doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
So
just 20
thank you
minutes.
guys for doing that, yeah.
Yeah.
20 minutes,
Yeah.
A quick hit of sketch comedy.
Somebody texted me a really good way to describe it. I'm going to bring this up.
Yeah. Well, while you're doing that, I'll talk about and I'm a fan, obviously. Clearly, like 2 fucking awesome things they do, George. If you haven't checked it out, or listeners, whatever, they do their Almost Friday posts, which are just these, and you guys can maybe describe it better, but they just. It's impossible to like encapsulate what the vibe of these are, but like they just find all the most sort of like awesome or unique or weird picture, and they just slap this like Almost Friday thing on it. I'm doing it no
gonna
justice
check it
right
out,
now.
yeah.
It's
It's
a
a
lot.
tone setter.
It's a
But
tone setter.
Yeah.
To your point, it's hard to describe. You kind of just
but
have
like
to
they're
like.
they all live in some
it's
there's
some unit-
shared
yeah,
Do
space.
you guys? Are you guys golfers?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're shitty, but yeah. We
and
like
even
it.
like just launched a golf.
here's-
we have a golf
thing?
brand.
Here's
too.
what
Yeah.
here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna take you guys out to play golf at Lakeside with the Godfather, Luke Wilson.
Oh,
Dude,
stop!
come on.
You would be making dreams come true.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
That
Godfather?
I hit him up and I said, "You around?" He's not
Ma'am,
in town.
No
But
disrespect, you're very beautiful.
You're very beautiful,
But you're
but
taking
he-
coffee and pie with a king.
You're very beautiful, but you're taking a with a kick.
The Godfather.
Cock balls, dude.
The gas.
But he's an awesome dude, man. And we did a movie together, Henry Poole, and maybe 10, 12 years ago, and we stayed close, man. He's a great guy, cool dude, mellow, just like that.
He's mellow, really?
Yeah, right? I mean, those guys are like,
I would make my year to get out there.
This is
so
always
fun.
him, because he's always trying to get out of shit. Hey, Luke,
Yeah.
don't forget Sunday, man. I'm not gonna be able to make it out. And I get in the car, motherfucker.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be able to make. He's awesome. So we'll go golf. We'll have some beers over there.
That'd be awesome, man.
Although he's one of those guys, he doesn't drink beer when he plays, drinks after, but I do, so.
Yeah, I mean,
We'll be
it's
with the
always,
Godfather.
isn't that always like the delicate art when you're playing golf? You're like, all right, I can have like 2 or 3. It's probably gonna, honestly, it probably helps me play a little better.
Yeah, I
Like
think
a real
marginally
curve to
better.
But then if you overdo it,
and as soon as I start playing better, all right, might as well have 6.
shit, if I got a
Yeah.
hole in one 2 summers ago,
You did.
around this time at Lakeside, I was fucking hammered. Fucking remind me I fucking made a hole in one, man. So like, hole in one. I'm like, who did that? You did, motherfuckers. What?
And wait,
Hole
don't
in
you
one?
do, what's it called? The weed cup or
Oh,
something?
no,
like
I have
that?
a party at my house. Who weed in the pool?
Oh, there's, okay.
You guys will come to that. Too.
But the
Oh, the brownie cup.
brownie cup, where you like take it.
You play 9 holes sober, and you play 9. On the 9th tee, you drink a cranberry and vodka, and then you split between 4 guys, marijuana brownie, and then from the 10th hole, you count every shot. And Don Cheadle won, 4 years ago with a fucking 9 on 18. that tells. He fucking beat me by 1.
Yeah.
He took a 9 on 18
Quintuple
and 1 by
bogey.
1, and we
go to
play.
that.
Yeah, so it's myself. We started at Pebble Beach almost by accident. Me, Don, Anthony Anderson, and Cheech. Who can smoke weed, can't eat it.
You can't eat it.
So we
Okay.
found his.
You found the leaders.
I gave him like 2 sleeves of Callaways. He put all 6 into this telephone pole, hard right, just 6 in a row. Beep, beep, beep.
So
The aim is terrible, but the consistency is
we have
amazing.
a format we play. The golf brand's called Hit Different Golf, and we play 2-on-2 where 9 holes. You get to
like it.
you get to shave a stroke for every beer you drink.
Oh,
Above a certain amount.
you know what? That might.
So we put a 12-pack in each cart. And if you don't finish the 12-pack, so you have 10 of the 12, that means you get +2 on your score.
God.
But 14 out of the 12, you get
Oh my-
-2. So we play with the Chad Goes
18?
Deep guys.
Oh, yeah,
We
yeah.
played, we've only done 9
No, it's
holes.
9. It's 9,
Yeah.
so 12.
12 beers and 9 holes?
12 beers
Six
and 9
each.
holes. But you have your partner, so you get 6 each.
Oh, okay, 6.
Yeah.
Okay, now I get it.
It's still a lot. It's a
lot.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
lot for 9.
Who's had to drink the most for 9 holes?
I mean, you kind of go with your partner. You're like, yo, if you're playing better,
If you're
like
playing
maybe
bad,
I-
you can. So the beauty is you can catch up if you drink more.
Yeah.
So if you're like, all right, we're down 4 strokes. Slam a couple.
That's
of
my
we
beers.
call
I'm
it-
terrible, so
we
I'll
call
just scapegoat. I'll get hammered. Someone else is good. Oh, man.
But you have to like. There's a certain amount of things like where you have to like use one guy's drive at least 3
yeah.
times.
Right.
We played. It's called the Hit Different Challenge. So we played with the Chad Goes Deep guys. We
Yeah.
played against JT and Strider, and
Podcasters.
yeah, other podcasters here. And we're trying to find like other like, and we don't have to play in it. Like it would be hilarious if like. You and Luke
You know,
wanted to
micro-
play against like Don Cheadle and Anthony Anderson.
Would that be great?
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Hit Different Challenge.
That's a fun idea.
It's,
Like,
That's a
we like it a lot.
funner variation
We put
of-
GoPros in the carts, and then we have cameras following too. It's a really good format.
Yeah, we kind of kept it anonymous until fucking Anthony went on Kimmel and said, "Yeah, we do this thing called a podcast." And I was like, "Hey, thanks, Ant." Putting all that shit out there. But it's a fun thing. I think that's a little more fun than ours. But
It'll be, and there's also like little wrinkles during the match. So the closest to the pin on a par 3 gets to like make the other team shotgun a beer, and it doesn't count towards their
That's what I'm-
actual
Oh, I
collective
love- that's what I'm
score.
saying.
Longest drive on a par 5. What is longest drive on a par 5? I forget if they have to like get one off their score. I know that shortest. If there's one where you don't get past the ladies' tees,
Yeah.
that means you have to drink one beer through a straw on that entire hole.
Well,
It's the worst way to consume a beer.
well, make sure we get a sprinter to take us home. Let
You'll
me
be
tell you
good-
how the
you'll be
brownie.
good
We
with
played the
yours.
brownie cup
Yeah.
at Madison over there in the desert. Mike Melman's thing is private. You don't see anything.
Is it Discovery Cup? Mike Melman's Discovery,
Mike Melman.
right?
We started at fucking 10. We finished in the dark.
Yeah.
That tells you. We're out there for fucking 8 hours. Because at all those comfort stations,
Oh, yeah.
we would eat, then we would drink, and we would
Yeah.
let people go by.
Yeah, go around.
And on 18, we're in the stand in the middle of the fairway. The guy comes out with a cart, the lights are on. He goes, "Hey, you guys all right?" We're like, "Yeah, we're all right." And the guy that was leading hit it in the water, and the other guy made like a 7. And
It's like
he
that.
won, shook hands in the dark.
The scene in Hall Pass, the movie with Owen Wilson, and
Yeah.
they take the weed brownies and play golf, and one guy's like doing a snow angel in the sand trap.
Yeah, it's awesome. But you'll forget to.
Like feeling assured, like,
Oh yeah.
Yeah. All right, guys. Great, Matt. Thanks
That's
for coming
awesome.
by.
Yeah,
Good stuff.
appreciate
Thanks
it.
for
Thank you for
coming
having
on.
us,
That was
George.
fun.
Yes,
That was fun.
like, follow, and subscribe to Welcome
Yeah.
to Friday.
Yeah,
Every
I
new
just
podcast.
found the way to describe it: a perfect little 20-minute joy booster on a Friday.
There you go.
That's all you need. Inject it in. Shout out Ricky Millington. For
There you go.
that
It's like
little
shotgunning happiness.
Yeah, shotgun and some happiness on a Friday. That's
great.
Wait, so we gotta. What's your? We gotta remember George's phrase. What was
We'll feel better longer.
Feel better longer.
Sounds a little like a Cialis.
Could be a
I like
fucking
it.
Seattle.
Yeah, man.
All right, beautiful guys. Thank
Awesome,
you.
guys. Thanks for coming out.